Hello, how you doing? How's your day going? I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to be talking about what it feels like to be born in a large family, what it felt like growing up in a large family. And usually when I meet people and tell them, oh, I have 7 siblings, they're like, oh, your mom gave birth to 8 of you. And they just go on and on about how fun childhood must have been, having a lot of siblings, to play with, to talk with, and all that. And even now as adults, just having people to call and well, the truth is, it wasn't so for me at all. Growing up in a large family, it wasn't. We were not close. My siblings and I were not close. I think that's something that parents have to be intentional about. Of course, I'm not blaming my parents because that was all they knew to do. They raised us the best they could. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not automatic that because we are siblings, we're going to bond, we're going to be close. No, it's something that parents have to be intentional about. And honestly, to me, what was going on in my family, like not being close, not having any bond with my siblings, for me, it was a norm. I thought it was normal, honestly. I didn't see anything wrong with it until I started to travel. Like first I went to university and then I moved out of the town I was raised in. I know I was just meeting new people and I would hear them talk about their siblings. I'm like, wow, this is new to me. I remember I had a friend in university then when she would have issues, whether boyfriend issues or issues with her courses, she would just pick up her phone and call. She had a sister she was always calling. And I always wonder like, how. It was so strange to me. Or somebody will say, oh, my sister and I are going shopping, or we are going on ice cream dates or things like that. They were really, honestly, they were new to me. Of course, my siblings and I would chat, talk from time to time, but there just wasn't, if we're not together, then we're not together. I'm not going to be picking my call to say, oh, I want to call my sister, I miss her, or I want to call my brother, I miss him, or things like that. No. I met a girl, I think that when I was in university, and she was talking to her siblings and everything. At some point, I was like, why are you always calling your siblings? Let them rest. Like, why are you always disturbing them? And I meant it like in a good way. But she said, Neka, this is strange. You should be able to call your siblings, talk to them, just gist with them from time to time. But honestly, it's for me, it doesn't come naturally. I think for my siblings and I, it doesn't come naturally because we're raised that way. So no matter what I'm going through, no matter how much I need to speak to somebody, I'm not going to pick my phone now and say, oh, let me call my sister somewhere, or let me call my brother. I'm just going to go through whatever it is they do because it's not in us to be there for each other that way, to discuss or talk about personal problems. But when we are together, we talk, we gist. But once we're no longer together, that's the end of it, honestly. And so that is why now I do not want to. I do not want to have a big family. I do not want to have a large family because of all that I experienced growing up, and with all that I know now. I just feel that when you have too many kids, imagine having 7, 8 children. It's hard to to manage the home because both parents. My mom was working. She was running a restaurant at the time we were young. My dad too had his own job. So for most times I was asleep before they came back from work and I was still sleeping by the time they left for work the next day. So it was only the weekends. Even the weekends, my mom would still go to her shop to go and prep ingredients and and all that. So there just wasn't enough time for them to really be present in their children's lives. But I think that things would have been easier for them if they had just maybe 2 or 3 of us. But also I do know that having a small family does not guarantee that the kids will be bonded. Parents still have to do their job. In fact, I was talking with a friend the other day. We grew up together, but for a long time we lost contact. So I saw him on social media, and then we got talking, and I was just asking about my friend who happened to be his own younger sister. And then I was telling her, I said, how is she doing? And we just got talking. Then he told me that they've not been in touch. I could not believe my ears. I'm like, what do you mean you've not been in touch with your only sister, your only sibling? It's just 2 of you. And he said, well, contrary to what people believe, that they are not exactly close. According to him, they used to be close when they were younger, which I remember. But he said at some point as they grew older, they just drifted apart. So I know that having just 2 kids or 3 kids doesn't guarantee that they are going to be bonded in love, but I think it just makes things easier. But I just feel that if the family is small, the parents can easily sow the right seeds in their children. And also I've seen large families that are really bonded, like all the kids, the siblings, they are bonded in love. So what I think is that parents have to first put in the work when the kids are growing up. Then as the kids now grow older, they now have to be intentional about maintaining the bond that their parents have created. Because it's one thing for the parents to create the bond, it's another thing for the kids, the siblings, to actually maintain that bond. But I think the parents have to first sow the seed. They have to first, make sure that the kids are bonded. But in my own case, we didn't have that. They did everything. They tried. They provided, we had food, we had clothes, we had shelter. But they just didn't get it right with making sure that I and my siblings were bonded. Of course, now that we are older, we try to make things work. But the thing is, it's not there. And these things, you can't force it. You can't force bond. You can't force a relationship. Because we didn't grow up to check on each other or something, so it's not really there. But I was thinking the other day to myself that, oh, should I call my sister, but I just felt, will it not be a disturbance? Will she not, maybe she might not even be expecting my call, or she might not even want it, or she might just be busy and all that. But the truth is that if we had a relationship, I wouldn't even be overthinking it. I just simply pick my phone and give her a call. But I'm overthinking it now because we don't have that, that kind of relationship where we call each other and say hello and say hi and all that. In fact, if I give her a call just out of the blue, she's gonna be wondering, is everything okay? And even if she gave me a call or my brother gave me a call now, I'll be wondering, is everything all right? Because it's not the norm. And then another thing I didn't like about growing up in a large family was that resources were very tight, honestly, and most times we have to take turns to do things. Like, this person goes to university this year, and then the next person goes next year. Or you wait till this person is done a particular thing, and then before somebody else can go. Because if everybody went at once, there would be too much expenses on my parents' neck. So that way, we had to wait turns. We had to take turns to do things, which if you had just 2 or 3 kids, it won't be a problem. Of course, in countries where you don't pay for anything, in a country like Sweden where education is free, that might not be a problem. But when you live in a country where you have to pay, there's tuition fee, there's and all these fees you're paying, most times what happens is that if you have a large family, kids are going to be waiting turns. One person has to first go to university and probably finish 4 years in university before the other person can now then go. Or maybe the second person will wait till the first person is in the 3rd or 2nd year before he now goes, so that the financial burden will not be too much on the parents. And trust me, in my house, that happened a lot. But when you have just 2 kids, you can register them in a music school at the same time. You can register them for piano lessons at the same time. You can know many things that they want to do. You can just do it at the same time. You can take them all out at the same time. But imagine taking 7 kids to a restaurant. Like, how do you start paying the bill? But of course, it were interesting times too. It wasn't all just bad. We also had fun, yeah. When you have many siblings, there will be fun times. Of course, those fun things were not very funny at the time they were happening, because we're still growing. When I think about some of those things that happened back then, I just laugh now. For instance, growing up in a large family made me very good at hiding stuff. I tell you. In fact, I got so good at hiding stuff that I will hide it so much that even I won't be able to find it. I will forget it. I'll totally forget where I hid something. Because when you have, let's say you bought a packet of biscuits, for instance, and then you keep it in the fridge. In all fairness to my siblings, they don't steal. If the thing is still, if whatever it is you bought is still intact, maybe you bought a pack of chocolate, or a pack of biscuits, or a pack of whatever snack, as long as you've not opened it and you keep it in the fridge or on the shelf or on the table, you're going to come back and meet it in one piece. But if for any reason you've opened that package and you've taken maybe a piece or 2 out of it, there is no guarantee that you're going to come back and meet it the same way you left it. So what happens is, once you've opened that snack and you've taken from it, someone else will go to the fridge, take from that same pack, maybe take 1 or 2 from it too, and that person will go there. Don't forget, I had 7 siblings. Altogether, we were 8 of us. Somebody else will go there, take from it. Maybe the biscuit has maybe like 20 pieces in it. You took 2 just to snack on. And then this person has gone, taking 2. Another person has gone, taking another 2. This person goes, takes 1. So by the time you come back from, maybe you went on a stroll, you come back to take the rest of the biscuits. You are asking everybody, what happened to my biscuits? I had way more than this here. How come it's just these few pieces I'm seeing in here? The first question they're going to ask you is, was it open? Did you open it before you left? And of course, when you said yes, I took some out of the biscuits to just snack on, they're going to tell you that then what makes you think that somebody else got here? You just said yourself now that you took some pieces from the biscuits. So how are you sure it wasn't you who ate it to this extent? And most times I'm just looking like, I'm not crazy. I know I took just 2 pieces out of this thing. And if there are 20 pieces from it, it should be 18 left. How come I'm having just 10 now, or just 8 out of this whole pack of biscuits? So that taught me a big lesson. If you have a whole piece of snack or whatever, you can keep it carelessly. But if you have taken from it, you have to go and hide it someplace that nobody can see it, because Once it has been opened, there's no guarantee that you will meet it the way you left it. Somebody's gonna go there and have their way with your snack. Okay, when I remember it now, I just laugh. But then it was not funny. I didn't find it funny at that time. I remember one time I hid a particular snack in my wardrobe, and I forgot about it. In fact, I didn't remember it at all. It wasn't even a matter of maybe remembering that I kept something and not knowing where I kept it. No, I just suddenly forgot about the snack that I even kept anything at all. One of the days we were just cleaning up the room and just arranging our clothes and everything. So when I was bringing out all my clothes and my stuff from my wardrobe, the snack fell. My God, it was already moldy, already dusty with mold. My siblings were like, can you see your life? Just because you didn't want anybody to eat from this thing, that even you couldn't eat from it, and now it's a complete waste. Also, growing up in a large family means that everybody's apportioned a particular task, a particular chore to do. And so, usually, it's the younger siblings that do all the chores, because your older ones, so like me, I'm the sixth child, so I have two younger ones. So, at the time I was doing chores, my older siblings were already too big to be doing chores. So, it was just from my elder brother down to my two other siblings that were doing the chores. Because according to my parents, my older siblings, they had paid their dues. They've been doing chores while we were young, so now it's our turn. And one of the chores I hated so much then, and even till now I still don't like it, is dishwashing. Because imagine washing dishes that was used by a family of 10, because 8 kids and then 2 parents. Just imagine it. When I take the plates to go wash, I could be there for a very long time. So I hated anything that had to do with washing dishes and everything. While I'm washing, somebody is coming to add some other plates. While I'm just about to round up washing the plate, somebody else comes with another dirty plate. So it was always it was a lot. I think that is where my dislike for washing plates now stemmed from. Because even now, as an adult living in my own house, I don't like washing the dishes. Just that I don't have a choice. Who am I going to leave them for? So yeah, did I like growing up in a large family? Yes and no. There were fun times, but of course, like I said, it all boils down to the parents, number one. And of course, as the children grow, they have to also make a conscious effort to maintain the bond that their parents have created in there. So tell me, what was it like growing up in your family? I would like to hear. Was it all fun? Was it all good? What was it like growing up? And also, did you grow up in a large family or in a small family? I'm interested. So that's all for today. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.